Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, with already a little bit of trash talk going down. whalemean, a Protoss bot, saying, "I'm playing really bad, but it's more than enough to beat you." So we'll see if it can live up to that SharpenedEdge thing. Touching can cause serious injury. Well, then don't touch it, idiot. I never knew whalemean, Protoss bot that I haven't cast too much of, was such a trash talker. But I'm all here for it. We are on Equilibrium, the AI edition, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a Protoss versus Protoss here. So it's going to be a little bit crazy, as there's a lot of ways to program a bot that plays Protoss, and honestly I don't think there's a clear, proper way to go about it, as there's just so much potential for shenanigans and whatnot. We do have a mirror matchup coming out of these two bots, SharpenedEdge and whalemean, both going for an extra gateway. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit, I don't know, let's say 8 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bots. You guys are the best at it, and that always helps with the YouTube algorithm. So you can type whatever you want in there. Put your grocery list in the comment section. It doesn't matter. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Alright, so we have got gateways done on both sides. SharpenedEdge is the only one of the two that's deciding to make a Zealot for starters. And it is actually going to let that finish up, it seems. So a Zealot on the way. Meanwhile, SharpenedEdge is getting out a Robo, and whalemean is getting out 2 Adepts. So we're going to see how well whalemean controls these 2 Adepts, because they can definitely be lethal. We've got a bit of a reaction to the scouting probe of SharpenedEdge. whalemean taking the threat of cannon rushes very seriously. And notably, whalemean also building up lots of chrono boost energy, so I'm not sure what that's for. Whereas SharpenedEdge, on the other hand, is also building up its chrono boost energy. So neither of these bots is rushing gateway units or warp gate or anything like that. They're both just getting out robos, and I assume going to be chrono boosting the robos. We'll have to wait and see, but that means we are definitely having a bit of a mirror matchup here today. One of those adepts is crossing the map, the other one is chilling, staying at home, and the threat level of a single adept isn't that serious. So probably just scouting for whalemean. We've got SharpenedEdge just letting us know its plans straight up. Tag, build, robo, all in. It's as simple as that. There is warp gate researching for both of these bots though, which is cool to see. And then we have got whalemean going for multiple stalkers, getting out its own immortal, as both bots have now got 1 immortal out. That adept makes it on in, but then it gets shot down. We've got SharpenedEdge saying rush macro, so I don't know if it's still planning on that immortal all in or what, but either way, we've got 2 1-basing Protoss. whalemean chrono boost out an immortal. SharpenedEdge not chrono boosting out an immortal. SharpenedEdge is banking up a lot of energy. I don't know what it's saving this chrono boost for. So that is actually, I'll say, a little bit of an advantage for whalemean, just from the way the builds work. I mean, it's always better to use a chrono boost than to not use a chrono boost. I mean, as Protoss, you really shouldn't have more than like 50 energy, I don't think. You gotta have some for a recall, I guess, and maybe a battery overcharge. So, I mean, maybe. But anyway, we do have SharpenedEdge at least using that chrono boost. Both bots have been building up quite the army. Both of them are building prisms. I don't know if these 2 bots are just offshoots of each other or what, but these bot authors have come to very similar conclusions on how they're going to program their bots. SharpenedEdge is now crossing the map, and yeah, we'll see if whalemean is ready to intercept this. It's all going to depend on the PRISM micro. Of course, whalemean has the defender's advantage, so it's going to have that 3rd immortal out when the fight happens. And here goes SharpenedEdge, crossing the map, running towards this ramp, but the Immortal, I believe, is visible, so units could actually be in trouble. The Stalkers for SharpenedEdge get very far forward, but the Prism isn't there to help just yet, so these two bots are having a full-on scrap. The Immortals for whalemean kind of got the start, but now there's two Immortals on each side. Where's that third Immortal just popping out for whalemean? So it's got those reinforcements coming, and I do believe the blue Protoss is definitely winning the fight. The defender's advantage is a little bit too strong. Looks like one Immortal almost goes down for whalemean, but so far, oh, just SharpenedEdge loses one. We'll see if it is able to keep the second one alive. That's going to be very, very critical. And if you guys bear with me for like half a second, just out of curiosity, I'm going to pull up SharpenedEdge's and whalemean's pages, just so we can read what's said about them. Because, okay, yeah, I was wondering if they... No, they're programmed by different bot authors. SharpenedEdge and SharkNice. Or, pardon me, Dr. Infi and SharkNice. One of these bots being programmed in .NET Core, the other being programmed in Python. And yeah, I just think it's a little comical how these bots are very, very similar. I can't blame the bot authors. 4-gate robo is a very common strategy in PvP in general. Now it's whalemean's time to be the aggressor, of course. Or pardon, yeah, whalemean's time to be the aggressor. It's actually got more units than SharpenedEdge thanks to that initial engagement we had, but this time it does not have the defender's advantage. There's 4 Immortals for whalemean, make that 3 Immortals as one of them goes down. And it's a bit of a closer fight than the previous one. I mean, whalemean is doing a good job keeping its Immortals alive. As I say that, though, 2 of them die, so it gets out with just 1 Immortal. But, oh, it does pick off the Immortal of SharpenedEdge. So, whalemean taking not a bad fight. And let's see, SharpenedEdge is coming down that ramp with 2 Stalkers. The Immortal and the Prism could potentially kill both these Stalkers. There's one of them getting killed off. And yeah, I mean, the Prism for SharpenedEdge is still alive, but it was not helping out those Stalker bros. We do have got 2 Immortals for whalemean as reinforcements came forward. It's 2 Immortals against 1 with an Adept in the mix as well. It's going to be curious to see how this fight goes. It does seem to be going very good for the blue Protoss, though, as it continues to maintain ground in these PvP matchups. Just overall Immortal count is so darn important, and just overall unit count, whalemean really is crushing it. And it goes to show why being the attacker can be a little bit risky. That 1 Immortal is very injured, but it does pop its shield overcharge, and then it dies anyway a second later. This Immortal is freaking out for whalemean. Some very messy targeting. I don't even know if it was shooting amidst all that chaos. However, another Immortal crosses the map for whalemean. It's getting some shots off. Now, though, it's 2 Immortals to 2 as another one pops out for SharpenedEdge. The defender's advantage looking strong there. And those 2 Immortals are incredibly injured for whalemean. Oh, it puts one down and it loses it. That is unfortunate. And so, with defender's advantage, SharpenedEdge is able to turn this around. Good Immortal Micro does allow the killing of 2 Stalkers, though, so at least whalemean has got that going for it. But then it loses the Immortal. Oh man, these bots are just aggressive. That's all I can say. We've got a Dark Shrine on the way for, a Twilight Council on the way for whalemean. Maybe for a Dark Shrine, maybe for Blink. I'm guessing Blink. But all in all, we've got 2 Protoss bots that are starting to mine out on their main base. So this game is going to slow down a little bit as Stalkers and Immortals are skirmishing once more. And this doesn't look like the best fight for whalemean. It may be able to get the Observer of SharpenedEdge thanks to that Stalker and its own Observer. That would actually be a nice pickoff, but then the Stalker dies, so it can't get it. And Immortal steps forward for whalemean, takes out 2 Immortals for SharpenedEdge, but then loses one of its own Immortals, and the Observer still taunts whalemean being alive. Nothing to kill it off. SharpenedEdge is in a bit of a precarious position. Both these bots are really starting to mine out. whalemean is embracing the long-distance mining, though, and looks like SharpenedEdge is actually doing that as well. This game really could be decided by which bot has got the better expanding or long-distance mining behavior. So far, both of them trying to long-distance mine is encouraging, and actually a probe getting into the fight there is cool to see. Maybe Sharpened Edge wasn't actually long-distance mining. It had just pulled those probes off the line to defend. We've got Sharpened Edge, though, holding the line for now, but definitely down on workers compared to its opponent. whalemean has been producing probes this whole time, getting out Resonating Glaives, and so the blue Protoss bot has got quite a higher income than its opponent, even via long-distance mining. We'll have to wait and see if Sharpened Edge will ever embrace long-distance mining, or it simply may just run out of money altogether. Sharpened Edge actually gets one of the observers of whalemean. There is a second one, though. Army supply-wise, things are actually quite close. As a sentry and a stalker move on out, the Immortal is caught sleeping and not really helping out at all. I don't know why this is, but the sentry's going out on its own, gonna get killed off, so that's not ideal. It does seem whalemean has abandoned the Immortal production, though, and it has just embraced stalkers and Adepts, which could actually come back to bite it if Sharpened Edge squeezes out a few Immortals. I mean, nothing trades better than Immortals in PvP, really. Resonating Glaives is on the way, and oh man, look at this. Sharpened Edge has saved up enough money to get up a Nexus, so while it's on almost half the worker count of its opponent, not necessarily because it's lost a ton of workers, just because it hasn't been producing them as consistently as whalemean, Sharpened Edge may have a much better economy within the next minute or so. And that is going to be huge. We'll see if whalemean is going to get its own expansion. It's looking to be aggressive once again, but it simply doesn't have the units because it doesn't have the income that it needs. Stalkers and Adepts will have a very hard time killing off this Immortal when it comes to small amounts of units skirmishing. And so things are actually looking quite up for Sharpened Edge. Resonating Glaives is about to finish up, but I'm not sure that's going to make that much of a change as the Prism saves some of these units. Observers are high value targets, but I don't know if whalemean's gonna get this one. Looks like it might, and it saves the Stalker. Does the Stalker get unloaded to kill the Observer? Yes, it does. So we are now 1 for 1 observer, 1 for 2 observers actually, pardon me. Sharpened Edge has got that natural Nexus about to finish up. It throws up a third, which is incredibly greedy. It's got to defend its natural here as 2 Stalkers come on in for whalemean. The Immortals are coming back to save the day, though, and they really are uncontested at this point. So that is very good. The Stalker, I think they may have got like 1 probe or something like that. whalemean throws up its own Nexus behind this, though, which is good to see it getting up an expansion, but these Immortals are going to kill the single Adept before it can shade in anywhere, cause any damage. I do find it kind of crazy that Sharpened Edge invested in that 3rd base so quickly. Yeah, that is a very bold call, but I'm okay with it. The income is really going to surge up for Sharpened Edge as it takes the economic lead for the first time in quite a while in this match. Now that'll definitely turn around once the Nexus is done for whalemean, as whalemean actually has got almost, well, a few more workers higher than Sharpened Edge for now. So this match, I believe, is actually going to even up. As I say that, though, Sharpened Edge invests in a 4th Nexus, so gonna have 2 more Nexus than its opponent. Neither bot really has any significant unit production right now. There's just the odd Adept being suicided in by whalemean. Sharpened Edges, though, will be taken off. I mean, well, maybe not a little bit sooner, as it is actually going to be spending money on probes and Nexus for the next minute or so. But we'll see if whalemean's going to go for its own 3rd base, or whether it's just going to start pumping out units like mad. I do believe the lack of Immortal production is definitely going to hurt whalemean as this game goes on, though. We've now got those Adepts shading all over the place. One at the natural is getting lots of kills here. It's not completed its shade, but so far it's killed off 8, 9, 10 probes. And then there's a skirmish on the front, so Sharpened Edge is having a tough time dealing with these Adepts. It finally will deal with that one, but after taking big worker losses, this Nexus has been shot a little bit. Still, though, the 2 Immortals for Sharpened Edge are uncontested. It will be able to catch back up in the worker count and replace those ones it lost thanks to its 3rd Nexus, let alone its 4th Nexus that is about to finish up. whalemean does invest in its own 3rd, but Sharpened Edge is building yet another Immortal, which is good to see for the red Protoss. Immortals are king in this matchup. Resources lost. I don't necessarily think they were in favor of Sharpened Edge for the first few minutes of the game, but as soon as it stopped losing those Immortals, or, well, as soon as its opponent stopped building Immortals, I think whalemean has kind of just been throwing units away. We do have Blink on the way for the blue Protoss bot, which is a cool development, as that could allow the Stalkers to be a lot more efficient and potentially escape these Immortals. SharpenedEdge does seem to be planning to get aggressive, though. Gonna try and turn things around. That Blink is about 10 seconds away. It needs to not lose these Stalkers until then. That seems to be quite the tall order, though, as whalemean wants to just fight, fight, fight. And Adept is gonna shade on past, and they are looking for harassment damage in this case, although this one is kind of freaking out, going back and forward, just waiting for another shade. Now it's going to try and escape those units. The Prism is flying around too. That Adept will shade towards, where to go? Into the main base. We'll see if it can get many worker kills or not. It is pulling back the army of SharpenedEdge, which is a very valuable Adept. whalemean invests in a Stargate. Really just off of 2 bases. We'll see if it's going to be getting up another Nexus. Meanwhile, SharpenedEdge invests in a 5th gold-based Nexus. So it's got quite the economic lead. And yeah, the red Protoss army is much bigger than its opponent. We've got an Oracle on the way. I'm not sure how much that's going to help. whalemean is in quite a risky position. It's also got a boatload of money that is floating right now, as whalemean seemingly ceases production of robo units first, then ceases production of gateway units. Now I wonder if it's just spending its money on Stargate units. We'll have to wait and see, but that does not bode well for the blue Protoss. If SharpenedEdge moves out for an attack, it will be disastrous. We've got a single Phoenix on the way. So yeah, it seems whalemean may have a bit of a programming oversight in which it kind of has priorities. It'll make just kind of one build. And so even though it's got tons of money in the bank, it's just producing Phoenix off of 1 Stargate. We have got SharpenedEdge now crossing the map. And this is going to be what I think will be an impossible hold for whalemean, unless it gets some amazing damage done on the other side of the map to maybe pull SharpenedEdge back. It's going to be a little bit disastrous. This Oracle is flying around, but it's not really finding any damage. It's finding plenty of Nexus, but not finding any damage. The battery overcharge helped for a little bit, but everything is being targeted down here. And yeah, whalemean now decides to warp in 3 Zealots, but I believe they just died right out the gate. And I mean, SharpenedEdge invests in a 6 base. whalemean eventually got seemingly out macroed. A little bit more trash talk going on there, but that is going to be that, as whalemean crumbles. And just, yeah, it stopped massing units. It didn't macro as hard as SharpenedEdge. Well done to SharpenedEdge for being the bot that expanded first. That kind of secured it, the path forward. And then whalemean not really building any more significant units, kind of just paved the road for it. And as long as your bot does eventually attack, you will get that win. Oh no, the red Protoss army got revealed by that single Oracle. I think it would have been cool to see whalemean hit a potential meaningful Stargate transition, but when your bot's transitioning, I think you still got to have it be making other units, as you're just not gonna have the army you need, as we clearly saw. I think even if whalemean had been building units compared to its opponent's economy, compared to its opponent's composition, that there wasn't much of a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watched up until the end of this match, go ahead and click that like button. If you haven't already, join the Discord, which is linked down below, and subscribe. Yeah, if you watched all the way to the end, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these trash-talking bots. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning on in.